What's up, gamers? If you're anything like me, you love games that give you total creative freedom, where you decide what to build, how to survive, and where to make your mark. Today, we're counting down the top 20 base building games that let you build anything. From survival shelters to massive engineering marvels, these games put the power in your hands. So grab your materials, fire up your creativity, and let's dive into number 20.
I cannot imagine we would ever want to stoop to this kind of familiarity with our peasants. But before long, Greenwood could become a thing of beauty.
Noble Legacy, and this medieval city builder puts you literally on the ground with your people while you construct an entire kingdom from rubble. Released into early access on Steam on August 12, 2025, Noble Legacy comes from Studio 369 and does something unique. It combines traditional city builder construction with third-person character control. You're not some distant god clicking buildings into existence. You're walking your kingdom's streets as the Lord, physically overseeing construction and interacting with your villagers. The building system here is where things get really interesting. You've got two construction approaches: prefab buildings and completely custom structures. The prefab system includes over 100 pre-designed buildings, homes, workshops, taverns, guard towers, monuments, and more. These are fully detailed structures you can place and customize, which is perfect for quickly growing your settlement. But the custom building is where Noble Legacy truly shines. The modular construction system lets you build structures piece by piece, wall by wall, floor by floor. You're selecting foundation types, wall materials, wood, stone, brick, different window configurations, door styles, roofing options with multiple shapes and materials, and interior layouts. Want a two-story tavern with a stone base and wooden upper floor? Build it. A massive castle with towers, battlements, and a great hall? It's possible. What's impressive is the level of detail in the decoration system. You're not just building structures, you're furnishing them. Every building can be customized with furniture, lighting, decorations, and functional items. Place tables and chairs in your tavern, beds in the inn, forges in the blacksmith, storage chests and warehouses, everything. The game even lets you choose the type of torches lighting up buildings. This granular control creates incredibly personal settlements. The city builder mechanics are deep too. You're managing resource production chains, lumber mills, stone quarries, farms, hunting lodges, fishing huts, and mines. These buildings need to be strategically placed based on resources, and you're creating supply chains where raw materials flow to processing buildings to create finished goods. Your villagers have different skills and preferences, and you're assigning them to roles that match their abilities. Noble Legacy also features a monument system where you construct structures of cultural importance, statues, fountains, grand buildings that affect your settlement's development and villager happiness. These aren't just functional, they're about building a legacy, as the name suggests. The game includes a tile-based building menu that's being continually expanded with updates. You can create elaborate road networks with different paving types, build defensive walls around your settlement, construct farms with multiple crop types, and even design the layout of entire districts within your kingdom. There's also Steam Workshop support, so you can share your building designs or use templates from other players. Now, Noble Legacy is still in early access. It just launched a couple months ago and currently sits at 72% mostly positive reviews. Some players mentioned the combat needs work and there are bugs being ironed out, but the base building and city construction, that's solid. The developers are actively updating it based on community feedback, and they've already confirmed multiplayer co-op is coming, which will let you build kingdoms with friends. The game provides that satisfying arc of starting with ruins and basic structures, then gradually building your way up to a thriving medieval city with castles, marketplaces, residential districts, and grand monuments. If you've ever wanted to physically walk through a city you built from nothing, watching your villagers go about their lives in buildings you designed, Noble Legacy delivers that fantasy. From medieval kingdoms to the stars, let's blast off into space with number 19. We're heading to space with Astrometica, a game that takes base building to the final frontier. Currently in early access on PC via Steam since December 2024, Astrometica puts you in the role of a survivor from a mining station disaster, and you're building bases across asteroids and space stations in this beautiful, dangerous cosmos. The base building here is modular and three-dimensional in a way most games don't attempt. You're not building on flat ground, you're constructing on floating asteroids, inside abandoned stations, and across zero-gravity environments. The construction system uses a tile-based approach where you're placing floor tiles, wall sections, and connecting modules to create functional space habitats. What makes Astrometica special is how purposeful every structure needs to be. You're building airlocks that actually matter, oxygen generation rooms, solar panel arrays that need to face the sun, and pressurized living quarters. Your base isn't just for show, it's your life support system. You need to plan power distribution with cables and batteries, set up automated mining drills on resource-rich asteroids, and create storage facilities for all your materials. The game lets you build across multiple locations, so you can establish a main base on one asteroid and set up smaller outposts elsewhere. There's something incredibly satisfying about looking out from your custom-built space station and seeing another one of your bases floating in the distance. You can connect structures with corridors, create multi-level facilities, and even customize the interior with workbenches, research stations, and personal quarters. Now, I'll be honest, Astrometica is still in early access, and some players have mentioned the developer has been quiet lately with updates, which is always a concern, but what's there right now is genuinely impressive for a small team. The foundation is solid, and the core building mechanics work beautifully. You've got automated mining that feeds resources back to your main base, which is that satisfying factory building loop we all love. The visual design is gorgeous too. Watching your base light up against the darkness of space as you expand it piece by piece never gets old. If you're into sci-fi base building and want something different from the usual planet-based survival games, Astrometica offers a unique experience. Just go in knowing it's early access and set your expectations accordingly. For space-based building enthusiasts, this one's worth watching. Speaking of cosmic construction, our next game takes survival in space to a whole new level at number 18.
They're attacking us.
Steel Arc takes survival in a completely different direction. Your entire base is a moving train. Set in a fractured world after a devastating technogenic collapse, you discover an abandoned train and transform it into your mobile fortress. This isn't just a vehicle, it's your base, your transport, your storage, and your safe zone all rolled into one industrial beast rumbling across the post-apocalyptic landscape. The train customization is where the magic happens. You can add carriages for labs, storage, or protection, and paint, decorate, and customize every aspect to survive in different environments. Heading into a radioactive zone, install radiation shields. Need to traverse toxic wastelands? Slap on some air filters. Each biome presents unique challenges, and your train needs to be ready for whatever the wasteland throws at you. But here's what sets Steel Arc apart. You're not just maintaining a mobile base. You're building an entire industrial empire on rails. Construct outposts and factories in strategic locations, then use a top-down planning mode from inside your train to lay out buildings, manage logistics, set train routes, and organize your entire base network. As your production scales up and becomes more complex, this bird's-eye view keeps everything under control. It's like Factorio met the forest, had a baby, and that baby became a train conductor. You'll also build and restore railway infrastructure, constructing new networks from scratch to claim uncharted territory, repairing abandoned tracks, reviving dead stations, drilling tunnels through mountains, and bridging gaps to connect your growing empire. The entire wasteland becomes your canvas. Combat and survival are brutal. You'll face wild creatures, bandits, and deadly weather events. Craft weapons, armor, and gadgets. Then build turrets and defenses to protect both your train and your outposts. As you progress, you'll unlock automation systems to handle large production chains, letting you focus on exploration and expansion rather than manually crafting every single component. The game supports up to 4 players in co-op, where you can split roles, explore together, and defend your train as a team. There are even WoW-style dungeons, short, intense 2 to 4 player raids with unique rewards that add structured challenges beyond the freeform survival gameplay. And for solo players, don't worry, you miss nothing story critical. Modding support is planned, so you'll be able to customize weapons, trains, buildings, and outfits, plus add entirely new content to personalize your experience. Steel Arc is shaping up to be that perfect blend of survival, automation, and base building, except your base has an engine and moves at 60 miles per hour. Now let's journey back to a world of magic and medieval craftsmanship with number 17. Pax Dei takes base building to the next level, a fully player-driven medieval fantasy MMO where thousands of players build, craft, and shape an entire persistent world together. This is a social sandbox MMO inspired by the legends of medieval Europe, where myths are real, ghosts exist, and magic is unquestioned. The game spans around 300 square kilometers across 5 provinces with 40 unique home valleys for players to settle. Everything, and we mean everything, in the game is made by players. There are no NPC vendors, no pre-built cities, no quest hubs handing out gear. If you see it, a player crafted it. The building system is where Pax Dei truly shines. You can claim a plot of land and construct your home using hundreds of building pieces, creating everything from cozy cottages to massive fortresses. But here's the magic. You can combine plots with your clanmates to build entire villages, sprawling cities, or intimidating fortifications that reshape the landscape. The modular building system lets you design intricate structures, and you can even share your blueprints via Steam Workshop so other players can use your architectural genius. The world is divided between the relatively safe heartlands and the dangerous wilderness. In the heartlands, you'll find your home valley where you can build in peace, establish your crafting empire, and connect with the community. The wilderness is where things get spicy. Stronger enemies, rarer materials, contested resources, and eventually PvP conflict with rival clans over valuable territory. The crafting system is absurdly deep. We're talking hundreds of recipes across multiple disciplines: leatherworking, armor smithing, weaponsmithing, carpentry, tailoring, cooking, alchemy, and more. Here's the twist. Everyone can technically attempt to craft anything, but becoming a master crafter requires dedication and specialization. Your character builds actual skill through repeated crafting, meaning specialized craftsmen become invaluable to their clans and servers. The grind is real, but so is the economic power you wield when you're the go-to armor smith on your server. The player-driven economy is the heartbeat of Pax Dei. You can set up market stalls on your plot to showcase goods, crafted items, or rare resources. Trade with other players using gold you've earned from adventures. Every playstyle matters here. The gatherer who spends hours collecting rare materials, the crafter perfecting their recipes, the warrior who brings back loot from dungeons, the trader who connects supply and demand. All roles interconnect and complement each other. Combat and adventure balance the building. Explore mysterious ruins and hidden dungeons filled with treasures and challenges. Face everything from basilisks to demons in third-person combat. The further you venture from home, the stranger and more dangerous the world becomes. The glory and loot you bring back enriches your entire clan and unlocks advanced crafting materials you can't get anywhere else. The game features a Discord-powered chat system that keeps conversations going even outside the game. Want to check what your Pax Dei friends are up to? Just open Discord. You can also perform miracles by spending grace, granting powerful abilities and bonuses that aid your adventures or crafting. Built on Unreal Engine 5, the game is gorgeous. Light streams through forest canopies realistically, dungeons are suitably atmospheric, and the medieval fantasy world genuinely invites exploration. The developers are from studios like CCP Games, EVE Online, Blizzard, and Ubisoft, bringing serious MMO pedigree to the project. Now for the elephant in the room. Pax Dei uses an optional subscription model for premium membership. The base game gives you permanent access to all gameplay systems, all areas, dungeons, PvE, PvP, crafting, and building. You can join clans and use their plots, buy gear from other players, and experience the full game. Premium membership grants you plot tokens to claim and maintain your own land, plus XP boosts and bonus grace. It sparked controversy, but the developers argue it creates investment and prevents abandoned ghost towns that plague many sandbox MMOs. Pax Dei is built for players who love long-term projects and shared goals, gathering, crafting, and construction that pay off at village scale, with real stakes when you venture into dangerous territory. It's EVE Online meets Minecraft in a medieval fantasy wrapper, and if that sounds like your dream game, you owe it to yourself to check it out. From fantasy realms to post-apocalyptic nightmares, number 16 takes us into a twisted future.
Knock, knock.
You know what most survival games get wrong about base building? They make it feel like a chore you have to do before you can get to the real game. Once Human flips that completely, your territory isn't just a storage shed, it's your entire survival infrastructure, and the building system gives you the creative freedom to make it exactly what you need it to be. Let's talk about the territory core system. Press B, drop your territory marker, and boom, you've claimed your piece of the apocalypse. You start with 14.4 square meters, but here's the brilliant part, you can move your entire base anywhere on the map without rebuilding. Found a better spot near aluminum veins or a strategic PvP position? Just press Z in build mode and relocate. Your structures stay intact. That's right, your whole fortress travels with you. For us base builders who've lost hours to wrong location, regret in other games, this is life-changing. The building itself uses a precise grid alignment system that lets you snap foundations, walls, and facilities perfectly into place. You get 300 structure slots, 100 facility slots, and 100 decoration slots by default wooden frames for early game, stone and marble for mid-game fortresses, and every piece, from triangle foundations to skylight windows, designed to work together seamlessly. Want a multi-story industrial citadel? Go for it. Prefer a resort-style base with water features and gold accents? The game won't stop you. The creative freedom here rivals dedicated building games. But once Human's real genius is how facilities integrate into your base design. You're not just placing decorative objects, you're building a functioning production empire, workbenches for gear crafting, modification benches for weapon upgrades, furnaces and smelters converting copper to bronze alloy, and iron to steel ingots, stoves and fridges preserving food for 15 days. Each facility has durability, requires specific metal tiers, tin for early zones, tungsten for endgame, and serves a purpose beyond aesthetics. You can even double up on furnaces if you have the space, creating actual assembly line efficiency in your base. Then there's the power system. Solar generators and biomass generators produce electricity measured in watts, which you wire through walls and floors using circuit modules to extend range. You'll connect this grid to fridges, automatic doors, lighting for those endless apocalyptic nights, and most importantly, defensive turrets. Managing your power grid during territory purification events or PvP raids becomes a genuine strategic layer. Run out of juice and your defenses go dark. Speaking of defense, once Human doesn't treat your base as a safe zone, you build once and forget. Mutated beasts and corruption storms can raid your territory, players in PvP zones can attack. You need layered wooden walls, elevated firing positions, strategically placed turrets with sensor triggers, and enough power generation to keep everything running during prolonged sieges. Your base layout matters tactically. Choke points, overlapping fields of fire, protected generator rooms. It's tower defense built into your home. And when you outgrow your initial plot, unlock territory expansion in the building memetics tree and instantly upgrade from 14.4 to 32.4 square meters, more than doubling your building space. Plus, you can join a hive with friends, combining your territories for collaborative mega bases with faster crafting speeds and combat bonuses, or save entire base blueprints for instant reconstruction after seasonal server wipes. Once Human treats base building as the core survival mechanic it should be, not an afterthought but your strategic command center, production facility, and fortress all in one. For base builders who want genuine depth alongside creative freedom, this is the one. Trading mutations for mosquitoes. Let's head into one of the most brutal survival settings at number 15. Green Hell, and while it's known for being brutally realistic, its base building system is surprisingly satisfying in a primal back-to-basics kind of way. Available on PC via Steam, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, and Series XS, and even Nintendo Switch, Green Hell puts you deep in the Amazon rainforest where you're building shelter from absolutely nothing. Now, the base building here isn't about elaborate castles or modern fortresses, it's about survival construction at its most fundamental. You're starting with stick frames and palm leaves, gradually unlocking mud walls, bamboo structures, and eventually more permanent stone foundations. What makes it work is how grounded everything feels. You're not magically snapping prefab buildings together. You're actually constructing walls piece by piece, choosing where support beams go, and watching your shelter take shape organically. The building system includes crafting stations that need to be strategically placed around your camp, water collectors, drying racks for food, and even gardens for sustainable living. You can build multiple structures and connect them, creating these authentic jungle compounds that feel earned. And here's the thing, because the environment is so hostile with its weather, diseases, and predators, there's genuine satisfaction in creating that safe haven where you can finally breathe. The game also features a bamboo construction set that unlocks later, letting you build more elaborate structures with elevated floors. Super important when floods and jaguars are concerns. You can customize your base with decorations, weapon racks, and storage solutions. It's not the most advanced building system on this list, but there's something deeply rewarding about the progression from a basic lean-to to a fortified jungle homestead. Green Hell proves that base building doesn't need to be complex to be satisfying. Sometimes the simple act of creating shelter in a hostile world is enough. If you want that Robinson Crusoe experience where every plank and every wall matters, this is your entry point. From the Amazon to Enchanted Realms, number 14 brings Victorian elegance to survival crafting.
Survive the realms, and rebuild all that has been lost.
Nightingale, a game that combines Victorian gaslamp fantasy with estate building in the mysterious Fey realms. Currently in early access on PC via Steam and Epic Games Store since February 2024, Nightingale had a bit of a rocky launch, but the developers at Inflection Games have been steadily transforming it into something special. And from a base building perspective, this game has some genuinely unique ideas. The core concept is building estates, not just bases, but proper Victorian mansions and settlements using an elaborate tile set system. You're working with architectural pieces that actually snap together to form coherent structures. We're talking stone foundations, wooden frames, various wall types with wallpaper options, different roof styles, windows with actual glass panes, and doors with intricate designs. The aesthetic is pure Victorian elegance meets fantasy, and it's gorgeous. What sets Nightingale apart is the level of interior customization. You're not just building walls, you're decorating entire estates with functional furniture, workstations, storage solutions, and decorative items. The game has hundreds of building and crafting recipes, and you're encouraged to make your estate feel lived in. You can build libraries, bedrooms, workshops, kitchens, and even conservatories. The furniture isn't just for show either. Beds let you rest, chairs provide comfort bonuses, and different crafting stations are needed for progression. The building system also allows for impressive scale. You can create massive multi-story estates with balconies, towers, and courtyards. The tile sets include multiple architectural styles, so you can mix and match or keep everything uniform. One of the recent updates added even more building flexibility, including increased structure limits and improved building tools. Here's something cool. Nightingale now has an offline mode, which was a huge community request. You can build without needing an internet connection, which is perfect for those long building sessions. The game also features a comfort system where well-furnished, aesthetically pleasing estates provide actual gameplay bonuses. Now, I'll be real with you, Nightingale still has that early early access feel in some areas. The game currently has mixed reviews on Steam at 68% positive, and some players feel the world can feel empty despite how beautiful it is. But from a pure base building standpoint, the estate system is one of the more elegant implementations I've seen. The Realms Rebuilt update that dropped earlier this year overhauled the progression system and added more structure to the building experience. If you're into building beautiful, detailed Victorian estates in a fantasy setting, and you don't mind supporting an early access game that's actively being improved, Nightingale offers something different. Plus, it was just free on Epic Games Store in October, so there's a fresh influx of players. The base building here is about creating a home that feels like a refuge from the dangerous Fey wilds, and it succeeds at that fantasy. Leaving mystical portals behind, let's set sail for adventure at number 13. Crosswind takes you back to the age of piracy, where the seas are yours to conquer, and every island is a potential homestead. This survival adventure combines the classic Buildcraft Survive formula with naval combat, boarding actions, and seamless ship-to-land gameplay. You start as a betrayed courier stranded in a mysterious world, but what begins as a survival story evolves into something epic involving ancient evils and supernatural forces. Here's where it shines for us builders. The building system welcomes newcomers with one-click blueprints and large modular pieces, but also offers veterans precision rotation, axis nudging, and preview mode for detailed construction. Players have already built entire Spanish and British-inspired mansions using the in-game systems, from humble shacks to grand estates. Turn your shelter into a fully operational outpost, recruit crew members to speed up harvesting and production, and watch your settlement grow into a living, breathing pirate haven. Your personal island is yours to cultivate indefinitely. A private space for solo play or co-op with friends, with planned features including wandering merchants, quest givers, and potential shipmates who arrive at your harbor. But it's not just about building. Unlike typical survival games, Crosswind features a Souls-like inspired combat system with precise timing, smart dodging, and carefully placed attacks, complemented by gunpowder weapons like pistols and muskets. Face challenging bosses, master a vast arsenal of melee weapons and firearms, and put your loadouts to the test. The alpha offers 30 to 40 hours of gameplay across 3 unique biomes, multiple ships, ground and naval combat, and an early prototype of Tortuga social hub. Whether you sail solo or with up to 3 friends in co-op, Crosswind promises that pirate fantasy we've been craving. And for those wondering, players are already calling it the skull and bones we actually wanted. From sailing the seas to surviving the undead, number 12 is a zombie survival classic. Here's the thing about 7 Days to Die that separates it from every other survival builder. Your base isn't just a house, it's a fortress designed to withstand a literal zombie apocalypse. Every 7 in-game days, a blood moon rises and hundreds of undead come straight for you in an 8-hour siege that lasts from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Your base either holds or you're starting over. That pressure transforms building from a creative hobby into strategic engineering. The block progression system is brilliant in its simplicity. You start with wood frames, 600 health points each, and upgrade them through 4 material tiers using your equipped tools. Wood frames become wood blocks with 8 wood, 1,200 health points. Then cobblestone blocks with 10 cobblestone rocks, 1,500 health points. Then concrete blocks with 10 concrete mix, 5,000 health points. And finally, steel blocks with 10 forged steel, 10,000 health points. Each upgrade grants experience points and increases durability exponentially. You can craft blocks directly or upgrade existing structures, and the beauty is you can reshape any block into hundreds of forms. Cubes, ramps, stairs, posts, partial blocks, by holding R and selecting from the Shapes menu its freeform building with meaningful material consequences. But here's where 7 Days to Die gets tactical. Zombie AI targets structural weak points. They don't just mindlessly attack, they pathfind toward your position and will demolish whatever stands between them and you. This forces you to think defensively. Elevated platforms with choke point entrances create bottlenecks where hordes funnel into kill zones. Multi-layered walls with 2 to 3 block thickness buy you precious repair time. Elevated positions make you harder to reach. Zombies can't jump to ladders that are 2+ blocks off the ground, so you can create entry points only you can access even better. Remove staircase sections mid-horde to strand climbing zombies. The trap and defensive systems integrate seamlessly into your architecture. Blade traps slice through zombie hordes and corridors. Electric fences connected to generators slow and damage approaching enemies. Shotgun turrets and dart traps auto-target threats if you've wired power to them. Landmines create area of effect devastation. Wood spikes and barbed wire fences form perimeter defenses that cripple legs and reduce mobility. You're not just placing decorative defenses, you're engineering overlapping fields of fire, controlling pathing with strategic walls, and creating kill boxes where zombies fall into spike-filled pits while you rain fire from above. Location matters tactically too. Flat elevated terrain gives clear sight lines. Natural barriers like mountains or water reduce entry points. Proximity to resources, clay, stone, iron veins, minimizes dangerous supply runs. Some players even build on bedrock or islands to limit ground level access. Others terraform moats around their bases or use existing POIS, points of interest, as fortified shells, upgrading concrete buildings into steel fortresses. What makes this system genius is how it scales with progression. Early game, you're throwing together cobblestone rectangles 7 blocks high with a single defended opening. By day 21, you need steel reinforced towers with generator-powered turret grids, multi-story platforms, drop traps beneath entry corridors, and enough structural integrity to withstand demolisher zombies and cop acid spit. Blood Moon difficulty increases with your game stage, so your base must evolve from survival shelter to military installation. Every block has durability. Zombies damage them. You repair them between hordes with the same materials used for upgrades. Running out of concrete mix or forged steel mid-siege means watching your walls crumble in real-time resource management isn't abstract. It's life or death when 50 zombies are battering down your steel door at 3:47 a.m. and you're out of repair materials. For base builders who want every construction decision to matter, where structural engineering determines survival and creative freedom exists within brutal tactical constraints, 7 Days to Die delivers like nothing else. Your base isn't art, it's a machine built to kill zombies and keep you breathing through the longest nights of your life. Trading zombie hordes for ocean waves. Number 11 has you building on water. Most survival games give you land to build on. Raft gives you 4 foundation tiles floating in an infinite ocean with a man-eating shark circling underneath your base isn't anchored to terrain. It is your terrain. Every square foot of buildable space must be crafted from debris. You hook out of the water and the entire structure drifts endlessly across the sea. It's base building as pure survival, where expansion means collecting enough planks and plastic to literally grow your home one foundation at a time. The building hammer unlocks your construction system, letting you place foundations, walls, floors, roofs, pillars, and hundreds of building pieces using primarily planks, plastic, and nails. Foundations are your currency. Each one expands your raft's footprint horizontally, but here's the genius. You can build vertically too, stacking multiple floors to create towering ocean mansions without consuming more foundations. A 3x3 footprint can become a 3-story structure housing your water purifier, grill, research table, storage chests, crop plots, beehives, and living quarters. Space planning becomes an engineering puzzle where vertical construction solves horizontal limitations. Collection nets are your passive resource gatherers. Hang them from the sides of your raft and they'll automatically catch floating debris. They don't count toward your foundation total, so smart builders replace non-essential foundation tiles with nets to maximize collection area while minimizing the raft's weight. A 10x15 raft with strategic net placement can gather resources like a vessel twice its size while requiring fewer engines to move. Speaking of engines, once you unlock the steering wheel and engine blueprints from the Vasagatan story location, foundation, you gain full directional control. One engine pushes up to 100 foundations at slow speed. 2 engines move 100 to 200 foundations at moderate speed. 6 engines hit maximum speed regardless of raft size, though most builders run 2 to 3 engines for efficiency. Engines burn planks, 36 seconds per plank, or biofuel, 12 minutes per canister. Connect biofuel tanks via fuel pipes, and you've automated power distribution, keeping engines running for 48 minutes per tank without manual refueling. It's industrial logistics on a floating platform. Foundation armor is your defensive layer. The shark attacks your raft every 5 minutes, targeting outer foundations and dealing damage that costs resources to repair armor each outer foundation tile with metal ingots and nails, and the shark literally can't damage your raft anymore. Problem solved permanently. It's an upfront investment that eliminates a constant resource drain, and for long-term builders, it's non-negotiable. The research system gates progression beautifully. You start with basic survival tools, but unlocking advanced workbenches, crop plots, engines, recyclers, and battery chargers requires researching blueprints at the research table. You'll need to explore islands, dive reefs, and scavenge story locations to find new blueprints and materials. This ties base expansion directly to exploration. You can't build a self-sustaining farm without visiting islands for dirt and seeds. Can't power electric equipment without finding circuit boards and batteries. Can't refine biofuel without reaching Balboa Island's ranger station. Infrastructure planning becomes critical as your raft grows. Engines need biofuel refiners. Refiners need farms producing raw food and beehives producing honey. Farms need irrigation systems and crop plots. Animals require pens and feeding stations. A fully functional late-game raft easily spans 30 to 40 foundations just for production infrastructure. Not counting living spaces or decoration anchors lets you stop anywhere to explore without your raft drifting away. Throwable anchors are single-use. Stationary anchors placed on 3x3 foundations are permanent solutions. What makes Raft's building system special is how mobility shapes every decision. Your base isn't static, it moves constantly unless anchored. You're not defending a fixed position, you're piloting a growing vessel through story locations while managing resources, production chains, and shark attacks. Building vertically conserves foundations for engines. Placing collection nets strategically maximizes passive gathering. Armoring foundations eliminates threats. Installing biofuel automation extends sailing range. There's no size limit except performance. Builders have created massive ocean fortresses with hundreds of foundations, multi-story complexes with themed rooms, floating farms, and industrial production facilities that dwarf the original 2x2 starting raft. The only constraint is imagination and the willingness to gather materials. For base builders who want survival mechanics that force creative problem solving, where every expansion decision matters because space itself is a resource you must create, Raft delivers an experience unlike anything else. You're not building on the world. You're building the world, one plank at a time, while drifting toward the horizon. From simple rafts to massive factories, number 10 is all about industrial domination. Let's be honest, most base building games give you a cozy house to decorate. Satisfactory hands you a 30 square kilometer alien planet and says, build a factory that processes millions of items per hour across multiple production tiers and make it look good doing it. This isn't base building, this is industrial engineering from a first-person perspective where your base is a sprawling network of automated production lines, conveyor highways, and power grids that would make a logistics manager weep with joy. The conveyor belt system is the backbone of everything. Belts transport items between buildings at different throughput rates. Mankey 1 handles 60 items per minute. Mark II does 120, scaling up to Mark 6 at 1,200 items per minute. Connect a miner's output to a belt, route it to smelters, split the output to constructors using splitters, 1 input, 3 outputs. Merge multiple production lines with mergers, 3 inputs, 1 output. 1 output, and suddenly you've got automated iron plate production running 24/7 without touching a single item manually. Belts snap to building ports and conveyor poles. can be built in straight lines or curves, and physically show every item traveling along them. Watching resources flow through your factory is genuinely mesmerizing. But horizontal building is just the beginning. Satisfactory's genius is vertical construction. Stack foundations to create multi-story factories. Smelters on ground level, constructors on floor 2, assemblers on floor 3. Use conveyor lifts to transport items between floors at rates matching belt throughput, up to 1,200 items per minute on Mi K6 lifts. Stackable conveyor poles let you run belt highways at different elevations, creating bus systems that ferry materials across your factory without clogging walkways. You can attach splitters and mergers directly to conveyor lifts mid-height for modular vertical logistics. Build logistics floors, hidden levels between production floors where belt spaghetti can run wild without cluttering your clean assembly lines above. Reserve 7 to 11 meters of headspace for these utility levels to stack 3 or 4 belts vertically. Foundations are your building canvas. Snap them to grids. Hold control for precise rotation and positioning. Create flat surfaces on uneven terrain, and use them as structural bases for machines, walls, and multi-story complexes. You can build production platforms in canyons, over water, at mountain peaks. Terrain doesn't limit you, it just changes your engineering challenges. Floor holes let conveyor lifts pass between levels cleanly. Wall-mounted power outlets hide power lines inside foundations. 2 splitters or mergers fit perfectly on one foundation tile without clipping. Power management adds genuine strategic depth. Early game relies on biomass burners, manual fuel from leaves and wood. Mid-game unlocks coal generators requiring automated coal mining, water pumps, and pipe networks. Late game brings oil, nuclear, and eventually geothermal power. Power poles connect generators to machines via visible electrical lines. Each pole has connection limits, so you organize grids by production area, overclock machines with power shards crafted from collectible slugs to boost output 250%, but power consumption scales exponentially. Run out of electricity and your entire factory shuts down until you restore the grid. Pipes handle liquid transport, water, oil, fuel, acids, with flow rates measured in cubic meters per minute. Pumps lift fluids vertically. Junctions split and merge pipe networks. You'll build refineries converting crude oil into fuel, plastic, and rubber, each requiring precise pipe routing and fluid buffer management to prevent production stalls. Transportation scales beautifully. Walk and hand carry materials early on. Unlock factory carts running on conveyor belts for automated item transport. Build trucks with autopilot routes connecting distant outposts. Construct train networks spanning kilometers with automated schedules hauling thousands of items between megabases. Hypertubes launch you through pneumatic tubes at high speed. Jetpacks and jump pads provide vertical mobility. You're not just building factories, you're creating continent-spanning logistics networks. The space elevator progression system gates technology through tiers. Complete projects requiring increasingly complex components, from iron rods to supercomputers to nuclear pasta, to unlock advanced buildings, alternate recipes, and higher tier production capabilities. Each tier demands factory expansion, forcing you to scale production, optimize throughput, and engineer solutions to bottlenecks. The MAM, Molecular Analysis Machine, researches alien artifacts and hard drives containing alternate recipes that dramatically change production efficiency. What makes Satisfactory special for builders is how it combines creative freedom with optimization obsession. You can build gorgeous glass-walled factories with perfect symmetry, or embrace conveyor belt spaghetti, where efficiency trumps aesthetics. Build modular blueprints replicating production blocks. Design men bus systems, feeding materials to specialized manufacturing wings. Create self-contained production pods for specific components. The only limit is your imagination and willingness to plan throughput calculations. For base builders who want every construction decision to affect industrial efficiency, where building isn't decoration, but functional engineering that must balance throughput, power consumption, and spatial logistics across massive scales. Satisfactory is unmatched. Your factory never sleeps, and watching it hum with automated perfection is profoundly, well, satisfactory. Speaking of resource extraction, number 9 takes the grind to a dangerous alien world. Icarus, and this one has a unique twist on base building that some people love and others find frustrating, but hear me out on why it works. Available exclusively on PC via Steam, Icarus is a session-based survival game from the team at Rocketworks, the creators of DayZ. You're prospectors dropping onto this terraformed planet that went horribly wrong, and you've got limited time to build, gather resources, and extract before you lose everything. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, I lose my base? Yes and no. Here's the genius of it. There's two modes. In the mission-based mode, you're building temporary bases knowing they'll be gone, which actually creates this intense, focused building experience. You're not overthinking. You're building what you need to survive and complete objectives. But then there's Outpost mode, where you build permanently, and that's where the real base building shines. The building system itself is incredibly detailed. You start with basic thatch and wood structures, but you can progress through stone, concrete, and eventually high-tech materials. The modular construction system lets you build everything from simple shelters to elaborate multi-story compounds with electricity, automated defenses, and even biodomes for farming. What I love is the engineering aspect. You can set up conveyor systems, automated ore processors, and complex power grids using solar panels and biofuel generators. Your base isn't just a house, it's a functioning industrial operation. Plus, the game supports up to 8 players in co-op, so you can build massive collaborative settlements. The building pieces snap together satisfyingly, and there's enough variety to create unique structures. You've got different wall types, window configurations, doors with actual locking mechanisms, and furniture that serves functional purposes. The game even simulates structural integrity, so you need to think about support beams and foundations. Icarus continues to get substantial updates. They just added new biomes and building sets with their recent expansions. The developers are actively adding more construction options, and the community is constantly showing off incredible base designs. Yeah, the session-based nature takes getting used to, but once you embrace it or switch to Outpost mode, you've got one of the more technically impressive building systems out there. The game's got that satisfying weight to construction that makes every completed building feel substantial. From deadly planets to a massive archipelago of danger and discovery, number 8 drops you into cooperative base building and PvP extraction chaos. Lost Rift drops you into a first-person survival shooter set on a mysterious archipelago. Picture this. You and up to 4 buddies wake up on a deserted island. You've got crafting benches, base modules, turrets, the works, your own little sanctuary. But once you're geared, it's time for the good stuff. Extraction runs into PvPvE zones. These are high-risk, high-reward AI enemies, wild weather, and other players all gunning for the same loot. If you survive and extract, you get seriously good gear for your home base. It's forest meets hunt, showdown with a base building twist, plus dynamic storms and day-night cycles that can wreck your garden if you're not ready. The demo just dropped for Steam Next Fest and the playtest was lit. Early access is vibing with test waves, including me. If you're into survival games with real stakes and a team grind, Lost Rift's gonna be one to watch. And after fighting raiders and surviving high-stakes expeditions, number 7 throws you into something even darker. Pure horror where cannibals hunt you day and night. Remember the Forest clunky blueprint system where you placed ghosted structures and filled them with logs? Sons of the Forest said, what if we let players actually build, and introduced a freeform construction system that transforms base building from template placement into genuine carpentry? You're holding logs, sticks, and rocks manually, and the game gives you visual guidelines showing exactly where and how pieces connect. It's first-person construction that feels tactile, creative, and infinitely more flexible than its predecessor. The dual building system gives you 2 approaches. Press B to open your guidebook, and you're in the new freeform mode by default. A visual reference showing construction techniques while you place materials freely. Hold X to switch to classic mode, which brings back blueprint structures for quick shelters. Tarp tents requiring just a tarp and 2 sticks. Hunting shelters, small log cabins, lookout towers. Blueprints are perfect for fast survival setups when cannibals are closing in, but freeform building is where Sons of the Forest shines. Here's how manual construction works. Grab a log, your primary building material from felled trees, and white dashed guidelines appear showing placement options. Place 4 log stumps vertically to mark foundation corners. This levels uneven terrain automatically. Lay horizontal logs between vertical supports to create walls. Stack them 6 logs high, one more than the forest's 5 log walls, to build perimeter defenses. Place whole logs horizontally for roof beams, and the game shows moving arrows indicating orientation. Right-click to change laying direction. Split logs in half with your axe to fill gaps without wasting materials. Each placement triggers new dashed line prompts showing what you can add next. Doors, windows, stairs, reinforcements. Defensive structures are crucial because cannibals and mutants actively attack your base. Build defensive walls by placing vertical logs next to each other, then use your axe on the red dotted prompts at log tops to sharpen them into spikes. Sharpened defensive walls prevent enemies from climbing over. Regular walls can be scaled. Surround your base with stick structures adorned with body parts, crafted from, well, you know, to signal dominance and scare off potential attackers. Build log fences as perimeters. Install traps. Small animal traps for food, bone maker traps setting humanoids on fire, fly swatter traps for big game, hokey pokey traps with swinging spiked balls, lockable doors keep intruders out, elevated tree shelters, 2x2 log platforms attached to trees provide height advantage and safety. Reinforcement is critical for structural integrity. Strengthen wooden pillars by placing rocks or half logs diagonally at upper corners. Curved arrows appear showing reinforcement points. This increases durability against attacks and allows you to remove redundant interior pillars in larger buildings, creating open floor plans without losing stability. The guidebook shows reinforcement techniques for pillars, roofs, and foundations. Resource gathering becomes your primary activity. Logs are everything. You'll need hundreds for substantial bases. Chop trees with your axe. They fall in the direction you're facing, so aim carefully to avoid injury. Send Kelvin, your AI companion, to collect logs continuously while you build. Set up log collectors near construction sites to stockpile materials. Sticks, stones, and rope are found in camps, crash sites, and caves. Location matters strategically. Build near water sources for hydration, and fish forest clearings offer visibility to spot approaching threats. Mountain areas provide defensible high ground. Beach shores give open sight lines. Avoid the helicopter crash site and GPS markers. They attract cannibals. Best defensive location, build on non-freezing rivers where cannibals can't reach you easily. Multi-story construction uses vertical logs as supports and horizontal logs as floor layers. Build stairs by placing logs at angles. Guidelines show proper stair placement. Create interior rooms by partitioning walls. Add doors by chopping holes into walls. Hit red dotted lines with your axe, then place logs following prompts. Windows work similarly. Build fireplaces inside structures for heating and cooking. Rain catchers collect water, unusable during winter when they freeze. Standing planters and wall planters grow food from seeds during warm seasons. Utility buildings expand functionality. Storage units organize resources. Skull lamps light areas. Scarecrows prevent birds from stealing crops. Birdhouses passively collect feathers for arrows. The repair tool fixes structural damage after attacks. Minor damage repairs quickly, but total destruction requires complete rebuilds. What makes Sons of the Forest building special is how physical it feels. You're not clicking menus, you're holding logs, positioning them manually, watching dashed guidelines appear as you rotate pieces, hearing the thunk as materials snap into place. Split a log with your axe and the other half flies off realistically. Drop it with G first to control where pieces land. Build a foundation on uneven ground and watch it adapt to terrain contours. Construct walls that actually block enemies. Create custom layouts impossible with blueprints. Angled roofs, multi-wing structures, fortified compounds with overlapping defenses. Your base evolves from a tarp tent on day 1 to a fortified compound with defensive perimeters, elevated platforms, secured storage, farming infrastructure, and living quarters. Kelvin can finish blueprint structures you start but can't do freeform construction. That creativity is all yours. Virginia, your other companion, doesn't build but will help defend for base builders who want survival construction that feels genuinely hands-on, where you're placing every log manually and seeing structures emerge from your physical labor while cannibals prowl the tree line waiting for nightfall. Sons of the Forest delivers primal satisfaction. Your shelter isn't spawned from a menu. You built it, log by log. From towering forests to tiny backyards, number 6 shrinks you down for a bug's eye view of survival. Imagine being shrunk to ant size in a massive suburban park where a discarded soda can becomes a skyscraper and grass blades tower overhead like redwoods. Grounded 2 takes the beloved backyard survival concept and explodes it into Brook Hollow Park, a sprawling 1992-era public space, nearly matching the entire first game's map size just in the starting zone. Base building isn't just construction here, it's tactical survival architecture where elevation, resource proximity, and biome positioning determine whether you thrive or become bug food. The building system revolves around the resource analyzer found in Ranger outposts. Analyze every material you discover, bug parts, plant fibers, minerals, and you unlock new crafting recipes for structures, decorations, and equipment. This creates a progression loop where exploration directly expands your building options. Early game gives you grass walls and pebbleite foundations. Mid-game unlocks clay brick structures and woven fiber roofs. Late game provides advanced materials like pinecone roofs and Tier 3 bug part constructions that require defeating formidable enemies. The coziness mechanic adds brilliant depth. Some advanced building recipes don't unlock through analysis. They unlock by achieving coziness levels in your base place furniture, decorations, and high-tier building parts to increase coziness, which gates access to premium structures and provides buffs while you're inside your base. It transforms building from purely functional to genuinely rewarding, encouraging you to create aesthetically pleasing homes that mechanically benefit gameplay. Location strategy is critical. Height provides natural defense. Most early threats are ground-based, so building on elevated platforms like rocks, giant baseballs, or table surfaces offers free protection from spiders and ants. Resource proximity matters because your needs evolve. Early bases need grass and pebbleites within walking distance, while advanced bases require access to Tier 3 bug parts from dangerous biomes. Building near Ranger outposts gives free resource analyzer access and often unlimited water sources. Scout for hostile bug nests before settling. Constructing near spider dens or scorpion territories invites constant raids. The faction reactivity system makes defensive design essential. Kill too many bugs from a faction and you reach want you gone relationship status, triggering raids when you're near your bases. These aren't scripted events, they're random attacks where entire bug factions assault your structures. Smart builders create layered defenses, spike traps surrounding perimeters, elevated shooting platforms, reinforced walls from sturdy materials, and escape routes for emergencies. The game rewards tactical architecture where base layout directly impacts raid survivability. Building sets offer diverse aesthetic and functional options using different material combinations. Grass provides lightweight early structures. Clay bricks offer mid-tier durability. Woven fiber creates flexible designs. Each building set has distinct visual styles and structural properties, letting you customize bases to match biome themes or personal preferences while considering defensive capabilities. The workstation system structures your progression. Build essential crafting stations to unlock equipment tires, basic workbenches for starter gear, advanced stations for weapon modifications, specialized benches for armor crafting. Your base becomes a production hub where organized workstation placement streamlines crafting efficiency. Store materials in nearby containers organized by type. Bug parts here, plant materials there, creating assembly line workflows. What makes Grounded 2's building special is how it integrates with mounted combat and exploration. Tame buggies, rideable insects like red ant soldiers, and orb weaver spiders that assist with resource gathering and base defense. Send your red ant to collect materials while you build. Position your orb weaver to defend against raids with web entanglements and stun screams. Buggies transform bases from static shelters into dynamic operational centers where your insect allies actively participate in construction and protection. Early access means nomadic building strategies work best initially. Create small outpost bases across Brook Hollow Park rather than one mega fortress placed tarp shelters near resource hotspots. Build respawn points in dangerous biomes. Establish crafting stations at strategic locations. As you unlock better materials and understand biome threats, consolidate into permanent bases with comprehensive defenses and coziness optimizations. The building grid system provides precise construction placement. Snap structures to grids for clean alignment. Stack floors vertically to create multi-story bases. Use decorative paths, rock or stick, to improve navigation and visibility in snow. The upcoming roadmap promises base moving mechanics, watery base structures for aquatic biomes, and enhanced building materials alongside new equipment tiers. For base builders who want survival construction, where every placement decision affects defensibility, resource efficiency, and aesthetic progression, where you're not just building houses but creating fortified outposts in a world where you're the size of a pebble and everything wants to eat you. Grounded 2 delivers miniature scale survival architecture that's genuinely grounded in tactical design. Your base isn't decoration, it's your lifeline in a park-sized wilderness where bugs rule and humans are just prey. From microscopic to massive, number 5 gives you an entire procedurally generated world to shape. Rising World, available in early access on PC via Steam. Rising World has been in development for over a decade, and the developers have spent that time creating what I genuinely believe is the most powerful, most flexible, and most satisfying building system in any survival game. Let me explain why this is number 1. Rising World uses a voxel-based building system combined with precision placement tools that give you creative freedom that's genuinely unmatched. You're not limited to preset building pieces. You can shape blocks, beams, planks, and cylinders at virtually any size and angle you want. Want a wall that's exactly 2.3 meters tall with a 15-degree slope? Done. Need a custom-sized beam to span a specific distance? No problem. The building materials system is incredibly deep. You've got different wood types: oak, pine, birch, each with unique textures. Stone varieties: granite, limestone, sandstone, metals, iron, steel, copper, glass, and even specialized materials like marble and concrete. Each material can be textured, painted, and shaped. The recent updates added even more material options and improved the textures to look stunning. But the real magic is in the construction blocks themselves. You've got planks for walls and floors, beams for structural support, cylinders for pillars and rounded elements, arcs for doorways and windows, wedges for roofs, and more. Every single block can be resized along all 3 axes and rotated in any direction. This means you can create architectural styles from any period or culture. Medieval castles with Gothic arches, Japanese temples with curved roofs, modern glass and steel buildings, Victorian mansions, log cabins, and literally anything else. The precision movement system lets you nudge blocks by tiny increments or snap them to a grid. You can offset blocks, overlap them for complex designs, and use different scaling to create intricate details. The building tools include surface alignment. Blocks automatically match the angle of whatever you're building on. Auto rotation and copy-paste functionality. See a complex design element you created, copy it, and place it elsewhere instantly. Rising World also has one of the best interior decoration systems I've seen. Hundreds of furniture items, decorations, and functional objects are available. We're talking complete kitchen sets with stoves, sinks, and refrigerators, bathroom fixtures with working toilets, bathtubs and showers, bedroom furniture with different bed styles, wardrobes and nightstands, workshop tools, paintings, and wall decorations, lighting fixtures from torches to chandeliers to modern lamps, plants and garden decorations, and even musical instruments like the piano I mentioned earlier that you can actually play. The game's crafting system ties into building beautifully. You need workbenches for different crafting categories, but you can build elaborate workshops and factories. The recent updates added machinery like sawmills and smithing equipment that can be incorporated into your builds. What really puts Rising World over the top is the sheer scale you can achieve. The procedurally generated worlds are massive, and there's no build limit. Want to build an entire medieval village with dozens of buildings? Go ahead. A sprawling castle complex with walls, towers, a keep, and surrounding settlements? Absolutely. A modern city with skyscrapers, roads, and infrastructure? It's possible. Players have built functioning schools, elaborate train stations, mansions that rival real architectural works, and even replicas of famous buildings. The cave systems add another dimension. You can build underground bases, excavate your own caverns, or create elaborate underground cities. The mining and terraforming tools let you shape the landscape itself, so you're not limited to building on existing terrain. The multiplayer aspect is fully supported, and the game has a thriving modding community. The plugin API lets developers add new features, and players share their creations constantly. The Steam Workshop integration means you can download complete buildings to place in your world, or share your own masterpieces. Rising World currently has 85% very positive reviews on Steam, and the community is incredibly supportive and creative. The developers are active, constantly adding new features, improving performance, and listening to feedback. They completely rewrote the game engine to improve performance and add even more capabilities, a move that could have alienated the community but was executed so well that players praised it. Now I should mention, Rising World is still in early access, and it shows in some areas. The survival elements are fairly basic. There aren't many hostile creatures, and the gameplay loop besides building is minimal, but that's kind of the point. This game is for people who want to build. The developers have stated they're adding more gameplay elements, but the building will always be the core focus. If you want complete creative freedom, the most powerful building tools available, and the ability to create literally anything you can imagine, from rustic cabins to massive castles to modern architectural marvels, Rising World is the game. This is the ultimate sandbox for builders. And speaking of massive worlds, number 4 lets you tame dinosaurs while building your empire. Ark: Survival Ascended is the Unreal Engine 5 remake that transforms the original's notoriously clunky building system into something genuinely functional. You're still crafting bases on prehistoric islands filled with dinosaurs you can tame and ride, but now the construction mechanics actually cooperate with your vision. This isn't just graphical polish, it's a fundamental overhaul that turns base building from frustrating snap point battles into creative architectural engineering, where tame creatures become living infrastructure. The building overhaul solves Ark's biggest pain point, structure placement. Enhanced snap points accurately show where pieces will connect before you place them, eliminating the guessing game that plagued Survival Evolved. Cycling systems let you switch between wall variants, solid walls, doorways, window frames, using a single engram instead of learning dozens of separate blueprints for every variation. Quarter walls and railings toggle between options seamlessly. Place structures upside down, horizontally, or vertically for creative freedom impossible in the original diagonal pillars, and flat foundations enable complex architectural designs. The entire engram system was streamlined. You'll spend hundreds fewer points just to build basic structures. The pickup mechanic is transformative. In Survival Evolved, moving a foundation destroyed everything attached to it. Walls, ceilings, crafting stations. Ascended adds items to your inventory instead of obliterating them. Redesign your base layout without losing hours of construction. Test foundation placements and relocate them if positioning isn't perfect. This single change makes iterative base design actually feasible, instead of punishingly permanent. Remote infrastructure eliminates clutter dramatically. The old irrigation system required massive pipe networks snaking everywhere to transport water. Now place a stone or metal water intake near water sources, and it creates an invisible irrigation range. Place water tanks within that range to extend coverage further. No physical pipes connecting anything. Any structure within range is considered irrigated. The electrical system works identically. Generators power nearby structures wirelessly within range, eliminating tangled wire spaghetti throughout your base. It's infrastructure that works like modern Wi-Fi instead of 1990s cabling. Material progression follows familiar survival tiers, but with improved structural integrity. Start with thatch, weak, temporary shelters, upgrade to wood, basic protection, then stone, mid-tier durability, metal, strong defense against most threats, and finally tech, endgame technology with special properties. Each tier withstands progressively harsher environmental conditions, and creature attacks upgrade walls to metal for defense against hostile dinosaurs. Add spiked walls for perimeter protection that damages attacking creatures automatically. Location strategy balances, resource access, defensive positioning, and creature spawns. Build near water sources for irrigation and fishing forest areas. Provide wood and fiber, but attract predator spawns. Beach locations offer visibility and escape routes, but expose you to amphibious threats. Elevated positions like cliffs provide natural defenses. Island bases create water barriers, limiting land-based creature access. Some players build treehouse bases attached to massive redwood trees for aerial safety, requiring flying tames for access. Underwater bases use specialized tech structures for aquatic fortresses. The craziest build? Constructing entire mobile bases on the backs of tame titanosaurs, the game's largest creatures, creating nomadic fortresses that move. Taming integration makes bases functional beyond shelter. Tamed dinosaurs serve as living base components. Ankylosaurus gather metal and stone. Casteroids produce cementing paste and wood. Dodocuris harvest stone efficiently. Argentavis transport heavy materials across distances. Build dedicated creature pens within your base perimeter using fence foundations and walls. Create breeding facilities with climate control for raising baby dinosaurs requiring specific temperatures. Construct storage facilities where tamed pack mules like Parasaur function as mobile inventory. Your base isn't just player housing, it's dinosaur infrastructure managing resource-gathering creatures, combat mounts, and breeding programs simultaneously. Advanced features unlock through progression. Tech Tier introduces powered structures with special properties, teleporters connecting distant bases, force fields providing automated defense, generators producing infinite power from specific resources, cryopods storing tamed creatures in portable form. Build advanced crafting stations, fabricators for endgame equipment, industrial forges smelting massive quantities, chemistry benches producing advanced materials, tech replicators crafting high-tech gear. Defensive design matters critically on PvP servers. Multi-layered walls with turret coverage create killing zones. Plant species X, defensive plants, slow and damage raiders. Vaults protect valuable items with massive health pools. Hidden compartments use clever foundation tricks, concealing loot rooms. Underwater vaults exploit 3D space, where raiders expect flat layouts. The building system's flexibility enables creative defensive architectures. Honeycomb structures where raiders must break through multiple wall layers. Maze-like interiors disorienting attackers. Fake loot rooms wasting raider resources. Blueprint system enables pre-planned construction. Create structure mock-ups before gathering materials, preventing wasteful builds from poor planning. Save successful designs as blueprints for rapid replication across multiple bases or servers. Share blueprints with tribe members for coordinated construction projects. The building grid ensures precise alignment. Foundations snap to grid patterns, creating clean layouts. Pillars support multi-story construction beams. Provide structural reinforcement for large spans. Ceilings double as floors for vertical expansion. Stairs, ramps, and ladders connect levels. The physics system actually matters. Poorly supported structures lose stability, indicated by visual cues, eventually collapsing if support is insufficient. For base builders who want survival construction where tame dinosaurs integrate into base infrastructure, where wireless utilities eliminate clutter, and where building mechanics actually cooperate instead of fighting you, Ark: Survival Ascended delivers the game Survival Evolved should have been. Your base isn't decoration, it's a fortified dinosaur ranch, managing prehistoric creatures as living tools while defending against the planet's most dangerous wildlife. And finally, the building system doesn't make you want to punch your monitor. From prehistoric beasts to futuristic engineering, number 3 takes creativity to the cosmos. Space engineers redefined sandbox construction with realistic physics and block-based engineering, but after 11 years, the original's aging V-Rage engine couldn't keep up with modern ambitions. Space Engineers 2 isn't an update, it's a complete reimagining built on the new Vrage 3 engine, eliminating the small versus large grid distinction that constrained creativity and introducing building mechanics so intuitive that newcomers can start immediately while veterans find unprecedented depth. This is engineering without artificial limits. The revolutionary 25cm unified grid system changes everything. The original forced you to choose between small grids, detailed machinery, fighter ships, and large grids. Capital ships stations that couldn't seamlessly integrate. Space Engineers 2 unifies them into one coherent 25cm system where intricate components, massive structures, and everything between exist on the same grid. Build a capital ship with functional interior machinery visible through windows. Design space stations where small detailed mechanisms control large-scale operations. Create modular constructions that scale from handheld tools to planet-sized megastructures without grid conversion headaches. It's Lego engineering where every piece connects naturally, blueprint building streamlines construction dramatically. Partial copy-paste lets you replicate specific design elements. Copy that engine cluster you perfected and paste it throughout your ship. Snap to grid ensures precise alignment without fighting placement systems. Assign blueprints to toolbar for instant access to frequently used components. Grid, undo, redo means mistakes aren't permanent. Step backward through construction history or restore what you accidentally deleted. Projection building visualizes entire structures before committing resources, letting you plan massive projects and see exactly how they'll look. These aren't quality of life additions, they fundamentally transform how you approach engineering projects. Enhanced creative tools empower ambitious builds. Symmetry tools mirror constructions automatically. Design one side of your ship and watch the other half replicate perfectly. Line and plane building place multiple blocks simultaneously along axes or surfaces, creating walls, corridors, and structural frameworks in seconds instead of minutes. The voxel hand sculpts terrain with precision, carving tunnels through asteroids or terraforming planetary surfaces. The paint tool adds customization beyond functional blocks, letting you color code sections, create faction identifiers, or simply make your creations visually distinct. Volumetric water introduces entirely new engineering challenges. Build underwater bases on ocean floors, requiring pressure management and airlocks. Design submarines with functional ballast systems and propulsion optimized for aquatic movement. Engineer across planetary water tables. Drill cliffs beside lakes to create waterfalls. Reroute rivers to fill valleys. Manipulate hydrology dynamically. Water physics integrate fully with the destructible environment, meaning your engineering decisions affect entire ecosystems. It's not decoration, it's simulated H2O responding to construction, destruction, and planetary modification. Backpack building revolutionizes early survival. Craft directly from raw materials in your inventory without requiring established infrastructure. No more dying because you couldn't access a refinery. Projection building becomes crucial for survival planning, letting you visualize base layouts before gathering resources. Enhanced planets feature diverse biomes and dynamic weather systems that affect construction decisions. Build heat-resistant structures for volcanic regions. Design sealed habitats for toxic atmospheres. Engineer bases that withstand storms, temperature extremes, and environmental hazards specific to biome types. The Almagus system introduces Space Engineer's first story campaign. Human NPCs and factions populate space stations where you trade, accept quests, and encounter AI-driven ships responding to your actions. Your engineering serves narrative purposes. Construct infrastructure supporting colonization efforts. Build specialized equipment for quest objectives. Engineer solutions to challenges involving mysterious ancient technology. The story unfolds through your constructions, making every base, ship, and station narratively significant. PCU performance cost units limits ensure builds remain performant while allowing substantial freedom. Creative mode provides enough PCU for multiple large-scale capital ships or massive space stations. Ongoing optimization promises increasing limits as development continues, but the system already supports significantly more complex constructions than expected, with better performance than the original despite higher visual fidelity. Multiplayer receives critical netcode improvements. Client-server architecture replaces Steam's networking services, with locally hosted games functioning as authoritative servers built collaboratively on massive projects. Orbital shipyards constructed by entire engineering teams. Planetary cities expanding organically. Modular stations growing through collective effort. Competitive PvP servers enable fleet combat where engineering quality determines battle outcomes. Visual revolution through ray-traced global illumination, realistic shadows, tessellated terrain with parallax mapping, and sleek armor edges creates the best-looking sandbox experience of this generation. Dynamic lighting eliminates the original's notorious bleed-through issues. TAA anti-aliasing finally exists. Multi-core CPU optimization and modern rendering techniques mean better performance despite dramatically improved visuals. The redesigned UI makes controls intuitive without sacrificing depth. Veterans access familiar systems faster. Newcomers aren't overwhelmed by complexity. Faster feedback systems communicate information clearly. The steep learning curve that intimidated new players, gone. Replaced with accessible interfaces that still enable sophisticated engineering modding support through Vrage Hub and Vrage Editor will unlock community creativity, continuing the Steam Workshop legacy that produced 500,000 plus player creations in the original early access roadmap. Promises Steam Workshop integration, multiplayer expansion, survival mechanics refinement, and continuous content addition shaped by community feedback over approximately 3 years. For base builders who want engineering that matters, where physics is realistic, destruction is fully simulated, and your constructions serve both creative and functional purposes, whether building underwater research facilities, orbital megastructures, or planetary colonization infrastructure. Space Engineers 2 delivers sandbox construction at engineering simulation depth. Your base isn't decoration. It's functional architecture you designed block by block, solving real physics problems in a universe that rewards clever engineering solutions. And finally, the building system actually cooperates with your vision. Leaving the void of space, let's enter the halls of Valhalla with number 2. Most Viking survival games give you axes and tell you to chop wood. Valheim hands you a hammer and says, prove you're worthy of Valhalla by building a mead hall Odin himself would envy. The building system uses realistic structural physics, where every beam, wall, and roof tile matters for stability. Your longhouse doesn't just shelter you from trolls and Draugr, it's architectural proof that you belong among the Norse gods. And when storms rage and enemies attack, poorly designed structures literally collapse under their own weight. The structural integrity system is brilliant and punishing. Every piece displays color-coded stability. Blue means grounded, touching terrain, 100% stable. Green is good, yellow is concerning, orange is risky, and red means it's about to break. Place a piece onto something fully red and it immediately collapses, dropping resources. Stability degrades the further pieces extend horizontally or vertically from grounded supports. Build a wall 6 blocks high unsupported. Watch it crumble. Each piece inherits maximum stability from what supports it. Add to something 50% stable, and your new piece caps at 50%. Weight matters. Stone walls hanging horizontally fail faster than wooden beams. The solution: vertical support beams, creating the shortest path to ground-raised terrain beneath structures using the hoe so foundations touch earth, maximizing base stability. Plant trees. Yes, trees function as ground for support purposes, enabling insanely tall constructions. Use core wood from pine trees for stronger structural pieces than regular wood from birch and beech. Stone provides even better durability once you unlock the stonecutter cross bracing with wooden beams distributes load, letting you build multi-story towers and suspended walkways that would otherwise collapse. Terrain manipulation is essential. The hoe levels uneven ground, preventing structural weaknesses from unbalanced foundations. The pickaxe removes rock for building sites, flatten areas completely before placing floor tiles. Half-embedded foundations cause asymmetric stability failures that ruin symmetrical buildings. Smart builders raise ground beneath structures, ensuring entire bases rest on blue stable foundations. Boulders count as terrain too, so intersecting them provides natural grounding points. Weather systems directly impact construction. Wooden pieces exposed to rain decay to 50% durability, developing rotting textures until repaired. The solution: proper roofing. Use actual roof tiles, not floor tiles repurposed as ceilings. Only real roof tiles protect from wind and weather. Build chimneys or roof openings for indoor campfires, angled to prevent rain entry while venting smoke. Smoke accumulation damages players over time, so ventilation isn't aesthetic, it's survival. The workbench radius system gates construction. You can only build within workbench range, and repairs require appropriate crafting stations nearby. Workbench for wood, stonecutter for stone. Place workbenches throughout your building site to extend construction zones. Advanced tip: hidden workbenches in perimeter walls or covered pits prevent enemy spawns in their radius, creating safe zones without visible clutter. Comfort mechanics reward interior design. Furniture like beds, benches, chairs, banners, and rugs increase comfort levels up to 17+, extending the rested buff duration, vital for stamina regeneration, to 24 minutes. A well-furnished mead hall isn't cosmetic, it's mechanical advantage. Use partitions and half walls to contain furniture without visual clutter. Place beds near campfires for spawn point functionality. Hide fireplaces in stone walls, preventing smoke damage while maintaining warmth. Defensive design matters critically. Enemies attack light sources and crafting stations aggressively. Build palisade walls with stake defenses around perimeters. Construct moats, forcing enemies into kill zones. Create watchtowers and archer positions with half-wall protection. Design multiple exits for emergency escapes. Hide valuable items in separate secured rooms in case main defenses breach. Build on elevated terrain pillars. Most creatures can't scale steep walls, and minimizing terrain alteration improves FPS while providing natural defenses. Advanced techniques unlock creative freedom. Snap mechanics auto-align pieces for tight fits. Hold shift to disable snapping for custom angles. Stack chests vertically using 1x1 floor tiles as shelves, then destroy shelves. Chests hover indefinitely, quadrupling storage density. Use wood beams as snap points for outdoor flooring. Build recessed walls by placing doors for 3 snap points, using innermost points creating depth. Construct suspended platforms by placing 1-meter beams on floor edges, then 2-meter beams in front as supports for next tiles, avoiding dangerous balancing acts on high builds. Progression unlocks materials. Wood and thatch for starter structures, core wood for stronger builds, stone for fortifications, iron for reinforced construction, black metal for endgame bases. The cultivator plants crops and trees, enabling farm infrastructure. The forge processes bronze, iron, and other metals for advanced building components. Blast furnaces, kilns, and fermenters require dedicated crafting rooms as your base evolves from shelter to industrial complex. Viking aesthetics emerge through careful design. Traditional longhouses stretch 10 by 15 meters with internal campfires, cooking stations, beds aligned along walls, and roof beams hiding straw textures. Build on hills for visibility and prestige. Vikings displayed wealth through impressive hilltop structures visible from distances. Palisades with round edges, though they take rain damage without coverage. Mead halls with high ceilings, decorative shields, banners displaying faction colors, throne rooms, and treasure vaults. Dungeons for containing Grey Dwarfs, seriously, for base builders who want construction where physics actually matters, where structural engineering determines whether your mead hall survives or collapses during the next troll raid, and where proving your worth to Norse gods means building architecture worthy of Valhalla. Valheim delivers Viking survival with genuine architectural stakes. Your longhouse isn't decoration, it's testament to your engineering skill, and Odin is watching. And finally, the game that does it all, combining survival, building, and RPG elements perfectly. Number 1.
If this is to be the end, it will not be ours.
Most survival games bolt construction systems onto existing engines and call it good enough. Enshrouded built a proprietary voxel-based engine from scratch specifically for base building, treating construction as the core pillar rather than an afterthought. You're not snapping prefab panels together, you're manipulating true 3-dimensional voxels, volumetric pixels that occupy actual space in the game world. Want to recreate the Eiffel Tower, build the Sphinx, carve underground dungeons into mountains? The voxel system says, go ahead. And the only limit is imagination, not engine constraints. The voxel manipulation is deceptively powerful. Each cubic meter voxel can be added, removed, or modified individually. Build block by block Minecraft style if you want absolute control over every detail, but that's tedious. Instead, use the construction hammer's prefabricated blueprints. 4-meter blocks for roughing out areas quickly, 2-meter blocks for standard construction, 1-meter blocks for detail work and filling gaps. These blueprints are collections of voxels placed simultaneously that seamlessly merge together, creating smooth surfaces rather than visible block seams. Place a wall blueprint and it automatically integrates with adjacent pieces. No fighting snap points. The contextual styling is brilliant. Cut a hole through a wall and the system automatically generates window frames around the opening. Doorways appear naturally, edges round or sharpened based on surrounding geometry. Voxels aren't dumb cubes. They're smart building components that understand architectural context. You can refine any blueprint placement using single block voxel tools afterward, adding decorative trim, support beams, visible inside roofs, or custom-edged shapes that make structures look handcrafted rather than template stamped. Terraforming integrates fully with construction. The voxel-based terrain can be sculpted freely, dig cellars beneath bases, carve moats around fortifications, hollow out mountains for cave dwellings, raise hills for elevated strongholds. The land itself is buildable material. Prepare fertile soil for farming directly on your property, create drainage channels, sculpt courtyards and pathways. Unlike games where terrain is static backdrop, Enshrouded's terrain is construction medium you manipulate as freely as building blocks. There's zero structural integrity system. This isn't Valheim where unsupported walls collapse. You're essentially in a three-dimensional paint program. Build floating sky castles with no foundation support. Create gravity-defying architecture. Start construction in mid-air by placing a floating block as scaffolding, hop onto it, and continue building vertically without touching ground. Practical builders use this for temporary platforms during construction. Creative builders make it their aesthetic. Either way, physics doesn't constrain design. The flame altar defines your building zone, a 40 by 40 by 40 meter cube extending equally in all directions from placement. Within this zone, you have complete construction freedom. The altar also serves as fast travel point, respawn location, and crafting hub. Place it strategically considering future expansion needs and proximity to resources. You can establish multiple altars across the map, creating networked bases connected via fast travel. Building UI prioritizes efficiency. Construction hammer in hand, press tab for the building menu showing all available blocks. Your toolbar displays selected blocks across the bottom. Alt plus scroll cycles through toolbar slots. Q plus scroll moves blocks closer or farther from your character for precise placement. Z plus scroll adjusts camera distance for detailed work. Left click places voxels, right click removes them. Press Y to undo the last 5 building or terraforming actions. Critical for fixing mistakes without manual removal. Resource management is straightforward. Building materials craft in lots of 100 blocks. When blocks merge during placement, total resource cost decreases. The system recognizes overlapping voxels and refunds excess materials. A counter beside your cursor shows blocks used and remaining resources, providing real-time feedback during construction. NPC integration makes bases functional beyond player housing. Rescue NPCs throughout the world and position them in your base. They won't offer full services until properly housed. Stick them in plain wooden boxes or design proper domiciles. Your choice NPCs provide crafting services, item trades, and progression unlocks. Your base becomes village infrastructure supporting 15+ cooperative players in multiplayer servers. The building variety enables architectural diversity. Craft rustic wooden shelters nestled in forests. Construct fortified stone castles towering over Embervale-designed Gothic skull fortresses. Build sprawling underground complexes. Create communal monuments in multiplayer. Shared constructions become testaments to collective effort where 16 players coordinate massive projects impossible solo. No PvP or raid mechanics means bases serve creative expression and functional housing without defensive pressure. Advanced techniques maximize creative control. Use different roof types against original roofs. Blocks won't merge, creating intentional gaps for decorative trim or exposed support beams. Place individual voxels directly on your hotbar for accent work without opening construction menus. Build scaffolding to reach elevated areas during construction. The seamless voxel integration means pieces flow together naturally, regardless of placement order or method. Combat and exploration complement construction. This isn't pure creative mode. Enshrouded blends survival crafting with ARPG combat. Clear enemy camps to unlock NPCs and loot. Progress through skill trees unrestricted by class limitations. Gather resources from biome-specific zones guarded by bosses. Your base provides respite between adventures while serving as crafting center, transforming gathered materials into better gear. For base builders who want voxel freedom without Minecraft's visual simplicity, where terraforming and construction use the same system, and where architectural ambition faces zero artificial limits from physics or structural mechanics. Enshrouded delivers creative sandbox construction at a scale and detail level few survival games attempt. Your base isn't just shelter, it's architectural statement proving what's possible when developers build entire engines around construction as core pillar rather than bolted on feature. And there you have it, the top 20 base building games where your imagination is the only limit. Whether you're crafting in medieval kingdoms, surviving on alien planets, or engineering massive space stations, these games prove that building is more than just gameplay. It's an art form. Which game is your favorite? Did I miss any hidden gems? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more gaming content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Now get out there and build something awesome!